Hello everyone, I hope you are all doing very well. I am doing okay. Let's get on screen. Let's see here. Come on, get up there, dude. Ugh, that is too bright. That is way too bright. And messy in the background. I've really got to get back on that. Let us reset once again the exposure on the camera. Got to do this every friggin' time. I know that they were planning on doing something about that. Hello. Let's pop out the chat. And yeah, we'll put that over here. Even though it doesn't really need to be up there. Come on. Let's move this main window out of the way. No, before we do that, let's get our go live tweet out. That would be a good way to start the stream. Yeah. So I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you're all having a good day. I hope that things are good wherever you are, at what point in the day you are at. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's see. Thank you, Stream Elements, for being live. Or acknowledging the fact that I am live, I should say. I really got to move this boom. It is now in the wrong... It's not in the wrong place, it's just not in the best place. I may mute it and take care of that after the go live tweet is out. Now that I can once again see over the thing. You don't need to know all this. Okay, anyway. Going through a tutorial. All right. Sorry, I know this is very compelling. Just me staring off into space, but I do need to do the stuff and the things before I can do the other stuff and the other things. So first, we're going to get the posts out so that the peoples know that I'm here. And then we're going to take the tweets and we're going to post it into my Discord. It's the only thing Did I ever post in my Discord these days? Got to do something about that too. All right, let's move. Okay. I am now live on YouTube. That is a good thing. Will expire soon. Good. I keep getting emails from Omni, OMNY, which is the digital component to the subway payment system. Because my credit card is expiring, which is a good thing because they shouldn't be charging my card anything, and they haven't been. But I just started using it really not too long before I left New York. Okay, so now we've got them there. The OBSs are up. Let's see what else we've got here. If I go to whiteboard screen and I want this, actually, pardon me for a second. So this is, because it's there, it's always going to be below. That's a good thing. All right, let's check something out here. No, that's wrong. Ow. Sorry I did that to you all. Okay, we're going to take care of that right now. Where's my paint bucket? Thank you. Jesus. Also, let's go into the base. There we go. Okay, so that's good. We'll make that black and make this white. I made it this dull yellow. Does that work? First, let's not paint it. Yeah, it's so far off center that it's difficult for me to write, but it does work. So I need to figure out how I'm going to deal with that, but that's good. Okay, and then I can always... All right, so we're going to put that off to the side. Something just went away. What went away? Nothing. I don't think anything. Let's move the Stream Deck-y thing. This is riveting, I know, and I apologize. So we're going to go... What are we going to do? We're going to close that, and we're going to open up... We're going to open up Godot. And we're going to open our project on Godot. And then we're going to stop this. Okay, and then we're going to go to the monitor. Before we do that, let's put this back in this screen. Yeah, that's okay. That'll work. I'll just leave that there. Actually, will I leave it there? I don't know if I want to leave it there because I would prefer to have that. So it's moderated only. Pop out chat. Ooh, I can pop that out. Got it. Yeah, don't need that. Okay. So now we can take this one, move it over here. We can take this one. I am juggling windows like you would not believe right now, everyone. Okay. So this way I can have my chats together. Where I need is them. Let's move that over just a little bit. So now I can do that and that. And then stream elements. No, why would I? What? Stop that. Stop it. Oh, that's what I did. Okay. I'm sure this is riveting for everybody, but I need to get... keep doing the thing. All right. That's going to be infuriating, no question. So we go to Stream Elements, we go to this one, and now we're in the feed. Good to see. That's good. Very happy about that. Then we're going to take this, we're going to drop it down here and move it over there so that I am not... And then I have the YouTube chats. Okay, and now we're good. Then I have to have another one over here. Sorry, I'm sorting out all of my stuffs live on stream, which I know can be kind of tedious. We're gonna put this in a new window. We're gonna check the socials real fast. No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to know who this is. Okay. This is why it's a co-working stream. Because I am doing all the behind-the-scenes stuff in front of the scenes. Get rid of that. You know what, we're just going to skip down to here on the music. It's difficult to find music that actually works for me. Okay. So now we've got my face is not on the screen. That's a problem. I'm thinking I may change the borders on this. Like pull off the border and then just put these things right up against the edge of the screen, which I don't love, the camera in the frame. I'm not crazy about it, but it just seems like it's a little bit off to have that padding or margin around the camera when I'm doing certain things. It looks a little bit strange, right? So, yet another thing on my list of things that I should thing. Okay, I don't think anything that I'm worried about is going to pop up over here, which is a good thing. Got my stream to-do list. Okay, that's good. We'll leave that over there. And yeah, so now let's go back to the Godot tutorial. Yeah, so anyway, I am in the process of going through one of the tutorials on the Godot website because I have a couple of ideas that I think I would like to make into very simple games. You know, I've thought over the years about doing like a Ren'Py game or something of that ilk, something that's very narrative heavy. And probably with narration, you know, something along the lines of like the Stanley Parable or Thomas Was Alone, right? I think that would be both fun for me and could be a potentially interesting. I could do something interesting there, you know, because I'm always kind of struggling for the best way to kind of express myself. That's why I think jump around to a lot of different things. I spend a fair amount of, like, I'm a serial monogamist, I often say, when it comes to hobbies, right? And I'll focus on a certain thing for a given period of time. Actually, I have ADHD, so I'm kind of, my focus is always all over the place. So there is a churn of hobbies. The ones I am a serial monogamist with are the ones that keep coming back throughout the years. Photography, I've kind of concentrated on that for periods of months or years at a time, and then writing, and tend to flip-flop back between those. And of course, content creation is a thing that can draw on both of those things. So that's why that has kind of been my consistent thing for years. But I've had several ideas over the years that I thought would be fun to explore as some type of a narrative game. And I've downloaded Ren'Py and fiddled with it a little bit, but there are limitations there. That it's good for somebody like me who has limited abilities and wants to learn. But there are also certain things about the engine that I don't think would fit what I would want to do. And I've been watching a lot of Pirate Software lately, and he is awesome, and he's very encouraging about things. And I was just like, you know what, let me... I had messed with Unity in the before times, before they completely dumped napalm all over their community with their pricing changes. I'm so sorry for coughing into the mic. But yeah, there's no coming back from that. Like I've watched, you know, I don't know too many developers directly, but I do sort of follow streams and podcasts and whatever else where I'm sort of third party to those discussions developers are happening. And I do not remember a time when developers are still sustainably pissed for such a long period of time as with the Unity thing. Like, there are small teams for whom migrating from Unity to Unreal or one of the other engines represents a huge cost sink for them, not to mention time, and could possibly delay release dates and shit, and they're still seriously considering it. That's how badly the trust was burned there. So needless to say, I have not touched Unity since that time. Or I should say, I haven't touched Unity in years anyway, because it was beyond my skill set and I didn't have something that was interesting enough to me that I wanted to focus on it to get into the minutia, and now I'm glad I didn't. Godot seems pretty awesome all the way around. There is... it seems like a very robust and capable engine for what it is, certainly on par with what Unity can accomplish to some degree anyway, from my limited experience with these things. And also, probably most importantly, one of the benefits of Unity was that, like, it had a huge user base, right? So there was always stuff out there that you could reference, whether it was people making their own tutorials on YouTube or whatever else. As Godot is both a newer engine and also, you know, less used prior to the whole Unity thing. There isn't as much in terms of like entire YouTube channels dedicated to it, but there are a few really good creators out there who are doing that stuff. The thing that's most impressive to me about it is that they're, in comparison to other engines, their documentation is kind of off the charts in terms of what it offers. It is still not perfect for somebody like me. When I'm learning something, I really do kind of need to be held by the hand at certain points. I think I'm better off with a resource where it's holding me by the hand every step of the way, and I can just skip past the stuff I don't need, as opposed to assuming knowledge. But yeah, still, it's very good, or I should say, it's much better than a lot of our other first-party documentation I've seen out there for other things, which makes sense because this is, I believe, was always aimed at the community of independent developers or people who wanted to get into game development, as opposed to all the other engines, which, even though they are much more accessible now, still originated in a place where if you were going to use those engines, you were going to do it by going to work for a studio and learning as being part of a development pipeline. So yeah, happy with Godot so far, particularly their documentation. And now I'm fiddling with it in the most basic way. Like, there's a 2D tutorial with very simple sprite animations on the site, and I'm kind of stepping through that just to kind of get familiar with everything, both the game design concepts as well as Godot specifically, to see if this is something I can pull off. And when I say pull off, I'm not looking to do anything too ambitious, but if I can make a small game or a couple of small games, like super small, super straightforward, kind of play around with this, I think it would be fun. Okay, sorry about that. I was just logging in real quick on my phone to check the audio levels, make sure I'm not screwing anything up. And it looks like we're good, so we are... Oh, that's what I wanted to do differently. Okay, so we're going to put that there. Sorry, I'm still, now that I'm simulcasting, I am trying to get all my windows set up so that I can have access to everything when I need it. So, okay, we are looking at Godot, and I've got the coding the player stuff. Let's do another one over here. Okay. I'm wondering if this is even worth having on screen, or if I should just have the fish tank up here. We'll say we'll start with this. Okay, so I did all these things. So tutorials aren't the best, even if you're doing them well. You should... Why is it still showing? You know what? I don't care. Okay, so I got my animations. They set up the collisions. I would have to do this so much in order to get this stuff pounded into my brain. So that's one of the things that I was thinking about doing. I was thinking about setting myself like my own little challenge or whatever, where I don't... It's very difficult for me to retain things, even if I'm doing what I'm doing now, which is typing the stuff from the tutorial in when we're doing the scripting elements or whatever, and then really stepping through, like following the logic through so that I understand how things are working. And it is very much helping me to understand what's going on here and how things are working. Not perfect, but this is my first attempt at doing anything like this. It's not going to be. The problem is that the way my brain works, if I want to pick up a single aspect or a single technique of something, I really got to do it over and over and over again to burn it into my brain, like actually do it. So I'm thinking about just picking like a style of game, whether it's a platformer or something 2D. I don't know if I'm really interested in doing 3D stuff. And just kind of recreate the same things over and over again with different assets or whatever, so I can really kind of lock into my brain what I'm doing. Regardless of how it works or how I do it, the shit's gonna be slow. Because that's just where I'm at personally. Why does it not give me... Okay, yeah, that's what I want. Let's go back. Good. Okay. Anyway, the reason I bring all that up is that it's the tutorial walked through getting... That's not what I want. This is the mob. This is the... Let's show this in the... Can I open this in the editor? Duplicate copy, open documentation, no. What am I missing here? Open documentation. The other thing I like about the thing is that when you're in the script view, right, searching help and then just typing in the fact that it's all just right there, right? And you can look through it and it's right there in the engine. Personally good for me. Okay, so this is the scene. Let's try this. Oh, because we took it off, so it's not movable anymore because it... yeah, so up until we added this stuff here, the show function is not... So we had this at an earlier point in the tutorial. It was at the point where I could just run this scene and be able to move the character around on the screen. It's not doing that now because we added the stuff in to hide the character when the scene starts up, so that way it could be so that hiding the character when the scene starts up, so that way you would have time in the logic to place it in the right place and whatever else. Because that visibility, I believe, should be controlled from outside, from the parent, what eventually I guess will be the parent game scene. So let's go back to 2D. So now we're looking at the mobs, because that was my player character. Oh, she's in there somewhere. Okay, well that's cool. So why did I mention problems with not problems with Godot? And we're in the ads. We will be back after the ads. It's good time to adjust my failing chair. God damn it. Man, I can't do anything here. We'll leave that over there for right now. So that way people who are stuck behind the ads can see them. All right. Meanwhile... Okay, so the ads are back. Or not the ads are back, the ads are done. And you all are back. What the hell? Why? Why would you do this? That's annoying. Okay, so that's good to know. It's interesting that it doesn't cover the whole screen. Pardon me, I'm going to go in here for a second. I'm pretty sure I know why that is, but let's just go and see, just to be on the safe side. No. Let's go back to the monitor. Interesting that that's not covering the whole screen. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know why. Interesting. That's interesting. All right, whatever, man. Whatever works. All right, so let's just take that out. And let's show this. No, it doesn't. Interesting. Okay. I don't love the idea of staring at this, but we'll see. Now I'm curious about something. Let me get over here and do this. No, it's okay. If I spend any appreciable amount of time doing that, it's not going to be okay. But you don't need to know any of this. So, yeah, I started... Oh, and then it just goes completely away because it's not up on the screen. That's interesting. That's interesting. Saw somebody using the Paint, MS Paint, as a visual reference, which I thought was really clever. and wanted to do that. Thought about doing that too. I'm like, anyway, long story short, there is no long story. It's just me rambling. Let us get back to the monitor. Okay, and if we go to the whiteboard, it looks like that. Okay, monitor. Good to know. Actually, that is something I should check. Let's try this again. I'll just leave that up there, because why not? I should come up with an ad screen. No, we don't want that on screen. Okay. Actually, maybe I do. Maybe I want this over here. Come on. Let's move this over here. That could be a thing. I need more monitors. I just do. I need more monitors. I've got 3, and it's not enough because I'm that guy. Anyway, all right, getting back to my tutorial. Let's look at this script. Oh, so I was talking about how some of the gaps in the Godot would, for me, feel like gaps in the Godot documentation. It steps you through everything, like it stepped me through everything for creating my player character, right? And now we're going through and we're creating the mobs that the player will encounter, which are similar in a lot of ways in terms of the initial creation of the sprite and the collision shape and all that stuff. So it's just saying, go back and add the sprite information the same way you did when you did the player character. Well, that shit's already out of my head. That was gone. That was hours ago. I'm crawling through this tutorial. So now I've got both sections of the tutorial open in different tabs in Chrome so that I can reference them back and forth. It's a little on the annoying side, but I understand why they did that way. It's a lot of information to duplicate. And when I'm learning stuff like that, I've really got to plod through it the first few times to make sure I'm burning it into my brain. Okay. Okay, the animation speed property. Set up the animated 2D sprite, animated sprite 2D, like you did for the player. This time we have 3 animations: fly, swim, and walk. There are 2 images for each one. The animation speed property. Adjust to 3 for all the animations. 3. 3. 3. So I have to do this for each one. Check for input. Okay, so that animation is done. That's the swim animation. And this is the fly animation. Okay, so all three of those are done. Did I miss anything here? Let me double check and make sure that I did not. Do I need to extend this? Do I need to create a script? All right, you know what? I can bring this over here for the time being because I'm reading. So let's go back to coding the enemy. You can use play animation buttons on the right. Which I did. Must select one of these animations randomly so that the mobs will have some variety. Okay. Like the player images, these mobs need to be scaled down. Set animation sprite 2D. Animated sprite 2D. Animation transform scale. What are we setting it to? 0.75. I don't think that did what I think it did. Yes, it did. Okay. Is that true for all of them? No, it's not. Yes, it is. Because I changed it in animated sprite 2D, it did it for all of them. Okay. So you don't have to do those individually. All right. As the player scene, add a capsule shape 2D for the collision. To align the shape of the images, you'll need to set rotation and property 90 degrees under the transform inspector. Okay, so we did all that. Yeah, see, now this is where I'm falling down. Let's see here. Okay. Doesn't have to be perfect now. It's a practice game. Fuck. I just want to select this piece. Move it back just a little bit. All right, that'll do. Now, the fly is a little big, but I'm going to live with it. Okay, so I added the collision capsule, and I did the rotation. Okay, so we're good. Let's save this. The other thing I really should work on a little bit today is I really want to get things over to streamer.bot because it's from what I've seen from other people using it, streamer.bot is really powerful. I am just having trouble getting the initial setup done. It's just not, it's a little obtuse when you first get into it. Open documentation, parent nodes. How do I add a script? Yep, that's the one. Okay, extends rigid body 2D, which it does. I don't like that these two things don't match. Now let's look at the rest of this script in ready. Actually, that's fine just the way it is. No, we do need to put it in there. Okay. Types. Let's type all this in here first, and then I gotta go back and okay. Cool, that's in there. What does it mean? So this is the modulus operator. First, we get a list of the animation names from the animated 2D sprites sprite frames property. Did I put in a sprite frames property? I did. Okay. And then This returns an array containing all 3 animation names: walk, swim, and fly. Get animation names. Get animation names. Returns an array containing the names of the associated to each animation, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's that simple. Okay. See, having no context for these existing methods that are in here. It's a little difficult for it not to seem like word salad at first. We then need to pick a random number between 0 and 2 to select one of the names from the list. 0, because we started 0. 0, 1, and 2. Okay. Indices start at 0. Rand selects random integer between 0 and n minus 1. Right, because 0 to 3 would actually be 4 digits. The last piece is to make the mobs delete themselves when they leave the screen. Fair. Connect the screen exited signal of the visibility on screen notifier 2D node to the mob and add this code. Connect the screen exited signal of the visible. So this is its own function, I guess. I have to know if that's a existing thing or a... That must be specifically for the tutorial. No, because you're creating it, yeah. You're creating a function. Queue free. This completes the mob scene. With the player and enemies ready, in the next part, we'll bring them together in a new scene, make the enemies spawn randomly around the game board, and move forward, turning our project into a playable game. Well, that's exciting. This is my excited face. I'll be excited when it's actually playable. Because a key phase in this process is, you know, the thing breaking repeatedly, because that's also for development. Now it's time to bring everything to the center. I wish this thing would do this the other way. All right. And we've got no one over there. And we've got another roughly 7 minutes to the ads coming up. That'll be on the hour, so we'll be taking a slightly longer break there than the ads will take, but that's fine. Now it's time to bring everything we did together into a playable game scene. Create a new scene, add a node. Okay. Create a new scene and add a node named main. The reason that you're using a node instead of a node 2D is because this node will be the container for handling the game logic. It does not require 2D functionality itself. Click instance button, represented in the chain link. Well, first they have to create main. We've got node 2D, node 3D. So we've just got node. That should not be a child of anything. Delete nodes. Probably could have just moved that, but whatever. Oh wait, mob is a child of... That should not be a child of the player. How do I unchild that? Okay. Don't do that. Move down. That's a serious problem. Resources. Add child node, instantiate child scene. That should not be there. I don't think. I think I screwed that up. See, I hate... I think that's not going to work. No, yeah. No, this should have been its own scene. Create new node. No. I am confusion. Okay. Coming up on another ad break soon, about 3 minutes. Create a new scene. Screwed up. This is the problem with using printed manuals or non-video manuals. Main. Yep, ads are going to start in 1 minute. Putting everything under player. Okay, we're going to the ads in a second. So I'm going to bring up the BRB screen right now, and I will be back shortly.
Ask you about love. Probably quote me a sonnet. But you can't tell me what it feels like to wake up next to a woman and feel truly happy. Knowing someone that could level you with her eyes.
Okay. All right. Thank you all for sticking with me. So let's see what we were doing. I was looking at this.
You don't know about your loss. Because that only occurs when you love something you
That does not belong there.
I doubt you've ever dared to love anybody.
See, this is what I'm talking about when I say let's go back to creating the enemy. Now it's time to make your enemies the player to have to dodge. The behavior will not be very complex. Good, we'll create a mob scene which we can then instance to create any number of independent mobs in the game. Click Scene, New Scene from the top, and add the following nodes. But this is all create new node. This should have been a create new scene, I think. Yeah, I already fucked this up. And this is because I'm working off a text one and not a video tutorial. God damn it. Create a mob scene, which, yeah. From the top menu, scene, new scene. That's what I did wrong. So I have to recreate this whole thing? Move child. Can I? No, we're not going to do that. We're going to leave that off. We're going to go here. No, that's not what I want. So no. Fuck. All right. You know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna. This is a tutorial, so we're just gonna take all this shit out. Even though I already did that. Yep, get rid of it. Okay, we've got a new scene. Let's go back to creating the enemy. Scene, new scene. And top menu, add the following nodes. Okay. Even though I already did this. Nope, that's not it. Rigid body 2D. And then under that, we're going to create animated sprite 2D and collision shape 2D. And visible on-screen notifier 2D. Okay. And then we're going to change this to mob. This is the process. This is how it goes. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Okay, so we set up the nodes. Don't forget the children. Stay selected. Blah, 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 yada, yada. Coding the player. Okay. Set the children so that they... make selected nodes children not selectable. Why? I don't remember. Select the mob node, set its gravity scale to gravity scale to 0. Prevent the mob from falling downwards. In the collision 2D object, expand, no wait. The collision group. And we're unchecking the mask because ensures the mobs do not collide with each other. Okay, I mean, is that really a bad thing? Okay, set up animated 2D sprite like you did. This time there'll be 3 animations. So for the player, go back and look at the player thing. We're attaching a script. We're not attaching a script. That's for the movement. Choosing the animations. Fuck me. Did I say this documentation was good? Creating a player scene. I lied. Okay. with area 2D objects, change the node's name to player. Yeah. Not relevant. Okay, clicked on mob. Animated sprite 2D. Animation. New sprite frames. And yeah. Now we've got 3 we need to set up. I'm wondering if doing a project where I'm just setting these up over and over and over again will work. Help me to burn this shit into my memory. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Okay, I need fly, swim, and walk. And then under art, enemy walk, enemy swim, enemy flying. Okay, so the animations are working now. The flying one is interesting. That looks like something else to me. Okay, so now all those animations are set up the way they're supposed to be. Play animation, I did that. Like the player images, these mobs need to be scaled down. So if I go into the select the animated sprite 2D's scale transform scale property 0.75. Looks like they were all scaled down. Okay, good. Oh, and then the capsule, right? Okay. Capsule. Actually, I'm not going to rotate it. Or I should say I'm not going to rotate it that way. Sorry for the traffic. We'll just use the... We'll use the handles for that. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's a tutorial project. It doesn't have to be perfect. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay. Yeah, mob. Let's save. We'll save the mob. And then we go back in and add the script 2D. Why is it giving me the script from the other? Oh, this script was preserved somehow? That's interesting. On visible on-screen modifier 2D. Interesting. You know what? I don't know that this script is attached. I think this, yeah. Because that was just the last one that I was using. Player. Extend area 2D. Fuck this. Wait, no, I want that back. Dependencies. There are no dependencies. Delete. Because it's connected to the wrong thing. Now let's go to mob. So scene, open the scene. Okay, the scene is now open. Now we need to attach a script. Yeah, I hate that. Okay. All right. Okay, let's do this again. So now it's extending the rigid body. Add a script like this. Extends rigid body 2D. That's already there. And then in the ready function, we need to retype this. Mob types equals animated sprite 2D. I like how the IntelliSense picks up on a lot of things except for the ones they need. What a mess that code is. All right. So first we're putting in the mob types variable, we're putting a list of the names of the animations, which are here. And then we are playing. First look at the animations. An array, right? We got that. We then need to pick a random number between 0 and 2. That's what this is doing. But how does it know that it's 0 and 2? Because it's using the mob types. It's picking a random number, and then it's modulus mob type size. So size is going to be just lyrics. Next round of ads will be starting in just a minute. My apologies. Okay, I need to come back and figure that out. Make sure I understand that. I understand this is picking a random number. I assume that's a random integer. A pseudo-random 32-bit integer assigned. I don't understand this calculation. For anybody who might be able to hear me right now, I've got another minute and a half because of the ads, so I'm just going to take a step away and be right back.
total galaxy. The real deep down you is the whole universe. And it's doing your living organism and all its behavior. It's expressing it as a singer sings a song.
Okay. Welcome back. Or I should say, thanks for sticking with me. I'm back. Okay. Twitch just welcomed me back to the chat room. That's always a concern. Because I was never gone. Pick a random number, divide it by. So I'm in this really annoying spot right here where I'm not quite grasping how that's working. If it's picking a random number between whatever and whatever, say it's 736 divided by, there's 3. 3. That's 0. sense. Get the fuck out of here. Alright, I'm gonna have to come back to that. Notes for myself. Let's go back to selects the random integer between 0 and n minus 1. You say so. The last piece was to make the mobs delete themselves when they leave the screen. Connect screen exited signal. Screen exited signal of the visible. What the hell would that be? No. Ordering texture material process. Okay, I'm changing my opinion on the quality of the connect at the screen exited signal of the visible on screen not notifier 2D. Yeah, I think I'm taking back what I said about the Godot documentation. Or the Godot tutorials, I should say. Is it under node? Screen entered. Okay. Thank you. Fucking... node mob. Connect. And add this code. I see. All right. With the player and enemies ready, in the next part, we'll bring them together in a new scene. We'll make the enemies spawn randomly. Okay. So I've got multiple scenes. I definitely will want to look up better ways to organize all this, because that's going to get really ugly really fast. Now it's time to bring everything we did together into a playable game scene. Or something that is broken, because I'm sure that there's something broken along here. Create a new scene and add a node named main. Well, first, let's save this. We'll save the player scene, even though there shouldn't be anything different about the player scene. New scene. Named main. The reason we are using a node instead of a node 2D node. Is because this node will be a container handling game logic, and it does not require 2D functionality itself. Click the instance button represented in the chain link and select your saved player. Okay. No. That's fine the way it was. What? Okay, player. That's going to get on my nerves real fast, I think. Okay. Click the instance button and select your saved player TSCN. Now add the following nodes as children of the main and name them as shown. Values in seconds. Okay. Glad you didn't have to listen to that sneeze. Start timer. Marker 2D. That should not be. Okay. Wait time property of each timer. Wait time is 0.5 seconds. The score timer is going to be 1 second. Start timer is going to be 2 seconds. Nope, 2. Cancel. Fuck it. Yeah, we'll call it main. In addition, set the one-shot property of the start timer. To on, and set position of the start position Okay. The one-shot that is set. Position on the start position. I don't see a position. I see gizmo elements. Position. Oh, okay. Under the transform. Guys, more specific on the docks, please. God damn it. Okay, all of that is set where it needs to be set. Spawning mobs. The main node will be spawning new mobs, and we want them to appear at a random location on the edge of the screen. Okay. Add a path 2D node named mob path as a child of main. Path 2D. When you select Path 2D, you will see some new buttons at the top of the editor. Okay. New buttons. Got it. Select the middle add point, and draw the path by clicking to add points at the corners as shown. Select the middle one. We have different definitions of the word middle. Add point. These options can be found on the left of the lock button. Yeah, I just put on snap and smart snapping. Smart snap and use grid to snap. Did that. Okay. Draw in a clockwise order or your mobs will be spawning point outwards instead of inwards. That's interesting. All right, let's try that. and then we did the close curve. After placing point 4 in the image, click the close curve button, and you now that the path is defined, add follow path to day node child. As I think we're gonna save first. As a child node of the mob path. Follow path today. Nope. Main. As a child of the mob path. Did I not? Yeah, I didn't rename it. That's why I did. Child. Follow path. The node will automatically rotate and follow the path as it moves. So we can use it to select a random position along the path. Your scene should look like this. Player, mob timer, score timer, start position, mob path. My scene, in fact, does look like that. Good. Okie doke. Add a script to the main. At the top of the script, we will use attach script. Click the main node and you will see the mob scene property in the inspector window under script variables. Drag mob TSCN from the file system doc and drop it in the mob scene property. Forgive me, schools are letting out, and I am on the walk home for a lot of students in this area. I should say the building is on the walk home. I tend to stay away from kids. It makes both of our lives much easier. Got more ads coming up. I should create a separate ad BRB screen. That's what I should do. I should also check my YouTube live. I know I have access to an editor right on YouTube. I wonder if it should be able to let me edit out the ad breaks, right? All right, anyway, let's, yeah, I'll probably step away again during this ad break just to let the ADHD out, or let the H part of the ADHD out. So, yeah, we'll do that. I'll kill the camera now, and when it flips over, then I will. It's interesting that the chat warning is giving me the warning like a minute early. For those of you on YouTube, you don't have to deal with any of this, but we have ads over here on Twitch. So yeah, it says that I just got a countdown message in chat saying ads will start in 1 minute and then count it down. But my last ad played timer says 29 minutes and 29 seconds. And it is already completed. Like, the warning says it's going to be in a minute, but it shows up, it starts playing at 2 minutes. So it's really, whatever. Not your problem. We're going out in 10 seconds. So I'm going to hit the BRB screen here, and we will be back shortly. I'm back, but I'm munching, so as not to chew on the mic, I'm going to mute for probably another minute. I think I need to look into rearranging this monitor setup because I've got my main reference is over here, so I'm looking away from the camera. So a lot of the stream is just going to be this side of my head. And given the fact that I am reflective, that's going to be a problem. Bald people problems. Let's see what we've got here. So I put in the score variable. I dragged the mob over to here. Okay. Click down the arrow next to the empty. The empty is not there anymore. And choose load. Cancel. Let's take that out. Drag mob tscn from the file system doc and drop it in the mob scene property. Which I did. Click the Oh, I'm I'm an idiot. I'm reading this, right? I'm reading this and I see I'm following along with the directions and then kind of trying to process as I go along. And it says to, connect the mob scene, blah, blah, blah. You can assign the property's value in one of two ways. Drag the mob scene into the file system property, click down and empty and click load scene. I was not processing this sentence, and so I dragged it in over here, and then on top of that was also trying to load it by using the file select menu. Genius. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so we're going to use the new pack. No, that's not what I wanted. Load mob scene. We're going to use this. Okay, it's in there now. That's all that matters. Now, where was I? Next, select the instance of the player scene under main. Under the main node in the scene dock and access the node dock on the sidebar. Make sure to have the signal tab selected in the node dock. Signal tab. I do. You should see a list of signals for the player node. I do. They're overwhelming. Find and double-click the hit signal in the list, or right-click it and select. I think we're going to do that. Hit right at the top where people like me who miss details like that can see it. Okay. Hit connect. Okay, this will open the signal connection dialog. We want to make a new function called game over, which will handle what needs to happen when the game ends. That makes sense. Type game over in the receiver method from hit. On confusion. Okay. Main. From signal hit. Okay. We want to make a new function named game over, which will handle what needs to happen when the game ends. Type game over in the receiver method box at the bottom of the signal connection, and then click connect. You are now aiming to have hit emit a signal. To have the hit signal emitted from the player and handled in the main script. So what are we calling it again? Game over. And it puts the function in there. Good. I like. You are now aiming to hit blah blah blah. Add the following code to the new function as well as a new game function that will set everything up for the game. Score, timer, stop. What are these things again? Mob timer, stop. New game. Player. Start. Start position. Start timer. Now connect the timeout signal from each of the timer nodes to the main script. Now connect the timeout signal from each of the timer nodes to the main script. Connect. Connect. I hope I'm doing this right. So I am definitely going to need to come up with some smaller projects where I can kind of do this over and over and over again, so I can really kind of burn it into my brain. I know I think I said that earlier, but it's becoming more and more apparent the more I work through this tutorial, which I know is... I've been watching a lot of pirate software lately, and he said that start with a project, right? And then use documentations and tutorials as a reference for that. The problem is that the projects that I want to do are so far beyond my skill set at the moment that that's not entirely going to work. This is at least getting my feet wet, which isn't a bad thing, but I'm definitely going to need to work on something specific to me. Okay. Mob timer. Start. Score. Score timer. Start. In the on mob timeout, yeah, that one, on mob timer timeout, say that 5 times fast. We will create a mob instance. Pick a random starting location along the path 2D and set the mob in motion. Path follow 2D node will automatically rotate as it follows the path. Okay. So we will use that to select the mob's direction as well as its position. When we spawn the mob, we will pick a random value between 150 and 250 for how fast each mob will move. It would be boring if they were all moving at the same speed. Fair enough. Notice that the new instance must be added to the scene using add child. Note. Okay. This is going to be awful. All right. Instance must be added to the scene using add child. Oh, the add child is at the end. Okay. So let's type all this shit in. Actually, first let's put in the comment. Mob scene. Instantiate. Mob scene. No, that's not right. I already skipped one. Equals get node mob path follow 2D. That did that the way it was supposed to. That's refreshing. Mob spawn location equals get node. I'm typing in from the wrong place. Mob spawn location. Progress. Not ration, ratio. Equals a random float. And we're getting there, we're getting there, we're getting there. Come on. Okay, so now we set the mob's direction. Mob spawn location. Rotation. Is it getting that? Okay. Let's check in on something real quick. Hello, there we go. Definitely got to work on this monitor layout. Okay, just had to ban a couple of bots. And now we're back in. Why pi? In functions requiring angles, Godot uses radians, not degrees. Pi, represented as a half turn in the radians. Excuse me, about 3.1415. There's also tau, which is equal to 2 times pi. If you're comfortable working with degrees, you'll need to use degree to rad, raid, and raid to degree. I'm not that comfortable with it that I'm willing to learn another function, no. Testing the scene. Let's test the scene to make sure everything is working. Okay, let's go back up here. Ready. New game. Let's also assign main to our main scene. The one that runs automatically when the game launches. Press play button. Alright, there we go. Oh, I just died. Okay, it didn't give me a game over when it died, although we're just testing. If you already had set another scene as main scene, you can right click main, set as main scene. Yep. She working. That's good. I mean, working-ish. You should be able to move the player around, see mobs spawning, and see the player disappear when hit by a mob. When you're sure everything is working, remove the call to new game from ready. Okay. That's good to know. What is our game lacking? Some user interface. Oh, the most fun part of developing really any software. Heads up display. Okay, this may be, yeah, this is going to be more than I can handle today. At least not without a more significant break. One of the things about me and the way that I work is that I need multiple things on which to work, and so that I can move around between them. It helps with managing the still staying productive while having the ADHD. So we're coming up. We're in the middle of another. And once again, we return. Well, I'm sitting pretty low in the scene. Excuse me, hiccups. I'm still kind of low in the scene. That's interesting. Alright, so what are we going to do? What we're going to do... Wow, this is freaky. So I've got OBS on a monitor over there, and this monitor that the webcam is sitting on. I have my Twitch and YouTube dashboards, right? And so I see myself in my peripheral vision on this side, which is pretty much in real time. There's less than a second delay. You know, it's like a eighth of a second delay. But then I just noticed as I was bringing up what I'm gonna use here as my background, that out of my, so once again, OBS on this dashboard's over here, right? So I can, out of my peripheral vision, I can see myself 3 times, right? Over here, it's essentially in real time. And I was looking toward this screen as I was kind of getting set up here and see the delay. And first I see, like, let's say my arm enter the screen. First I see it on the Twitch dashboard. Then a second, 2 seconds, a second later, it shows up on the YouTube dashboard, which I've got kind of positioned off to the side just so that I can make sure nothing's going wrong over there. So yeah, this is very much something that is going to take some getting used to. You have, first of all, hello, Hat. Welcome in. You have smoked beef, fried cheese, and a baked potato. I am jealous, sir. That seems lovely. I am happy for you. And now, somewhat unhappy for me. But that's okay. I'll learn to live with it. Okay, so what are we going to do? Now that I'm doing other stuff, and we're going to leave that off the screen, because me typing things from a tutorial into Godot were so riveting. Now I'll just leave that over there. We can move this back here. Yeah, still very much got to get the, very much trying to get the, get all the windows situated where I want them. Because now I've got an extra window, technically an extra 2. No, you know what I can do? I can go back to this, restore chat, put that over here, and then move this over here. Yeah, that works. Only just realizing that the first are not true recording says they phase in and out of existence rather than swimming through the reef in the tank. Yeah, they, well, that is true. Did they? Now you got me thinking about this, Hat. I haven't spent a lot of time actually staring at the aquarium. I'm almost positive that may be a 2D, 3D thing. With this, this game, and it is a game, it's on Steam actually, it's called Behind the Glass Aquarium Simulator. It has like a dozen pre-made aquariums that you can just put up on your monitor, and it also has the kind of sim builder kind of aspect where you can make your own aquarium. It's actually really cool. I have been meaning to make my own aquarium, but I bought it specifically to, what do you call it, to just have a background on screen that I like, and it's not me stealing somebody else's. Well, I don't steal people's content, but it prevents me from living in the gray area of other people's, using other people's content on my stream. It's in early access. Right now it's 10% off. It's a total, and it's $8.99 at present. I think the total price is $9.99. Yeah. So, in my opinion, worth the buy. But I wonder if you can put it in 2D mode and 3D mode, right? Let's go over and put it in 3D mode and see if that makes a difference. Take 2D mode off. That's interesting. So that's what it looks like in 3D mode. And I think, yeah, you can kind of move around and there's parallax in there. See how the background and foreground are moving differently. You can actually set them. You can rotate the tank and place things in 3 dimensions in here. Wait, it'll let me knock? Say that again? Feed. I've never fed the fish. F. Oh, look at that. I may have to add that as like a channel reward or something. Let's feed them again. You see them all swimming up to the top? I love this. I did not know that was a thing. We hide the border. Oh my god. Can I do that in 2D? Just hide the border? Yeah, but then it looks weird. And what's the other... Knock. What happens if we knock on the tank? Oh, if we knock, they move. Oh, they're moving a lot. They are not happy. I don't know if I want that to be a thing. I don't want to be hurting the fish. Oh, and it has a night mode, which is actually really cool. So yeah, there's a lot of... definitely recommend. For the price, absolutely. No question. Let's put it back in daytime mode. Night mode is cool. I've never actually tried the night mode. And then what else have we got here? We can zoom, we can rotate. But yeah, I wonder if I wonder if I can connect that directly to Twitch chat. I don't think the game has any chat integration. So let's go back into 2D, so they're just here. And let's feed them again. Are they rushing up? Yeah, there they go. Feed them some more. Get some more of them up to the top. We'll just hit we'll drop a bunch of food in there. Anyway, to answer your question, I wonder if maybe the fact that they're phasing is because I'm looking at it in 2D mode, and if I left it in 3D mode, since you can place the coral, or they have all sort of all the standard aquarium accoutrement. So you've got like the treasure chest that with the air bubbler in it, and I think that's in there. All kinds of stuff like that, right? And since they are swimming, the game models them as swimming in 3 dimensions. I wonder if I have the 3-dimensional view up, if they will then do that. Because I'm pretty sure that one of the species that they have are like either shrimp or a hermit crab or something that kind of crawls on the bottom. And I think they're much more likely to interact with the stuff that's actually in the substrate. Anyway, I can't resist. I knocked again. I like the fact that they're moving, and even though they're digital fish, and I don't have the ability to harm them in any way, knocking on the aquarium really just seems rude to me. I don't know. Probably says more about me than it does about them, but that's okay. So my typing representation is up, so we're good. Okay, so let's see what we're going to work on here. Yeah. First time that I've ever fed them, but they're okay. Yeah, I'm glad they're okay too. I wouldn't want them, I don't want the sim to be that realistic. I think you can actually do that. I think you can set, if I remember correctly, I really don't feel like going back into it right now because I like the aesthetic. But I think you can actually set different levels of realism, like different types of sim. And there are, I'm almost positive, you know what? Now I'm talking about it, I have to go look. Let's go back in here. Let's go into the, let's get out of that. Let's take this out of here. Ah, crap. All right, let's view the aquariums. That's going to bring them back up. I think that when you go into when you create the sim, yeah, it is showing everything. Length, aspect ratio, all this, surrounding. Oh, you can do it fresh and salt water. And I'm pretty sure settings. Terrain smoothing, lens dirt, I'm not sure what that is, but these are all of our graphics issues. Language, shadow, sound. So this is all it. I wanted to say that there was that you could kind of set the level of realism for it. You can choose different backgrounds, right? Any of these, and you can put them just in the background of the tank. That is unpleasant for stream. Yes. So you can do all this kind of stuff. Dogs and cats would let you know that they needed to be fed. That is true. Oh yeah, so we've got our changes the substrate, surroundings, light, creatures, and you can select the fish that you want to put in there, different types of gravel, surroundings. And this is where the fish tank is sitting. Sorry, I just realized I leaned away from the mic. I thought breed lab. Oh, that's right. You can breed your own fish, which is interesting. We put a red-bellied piranha and let's see. Do they have tetras? I have never done the a midget sucker catfish. I want to see what those two look like. So you can do genetic experiments, which now that I'm thinking about it, I have mixed feelings about. But yeah, let's go back to the examples. Let's get a nice one with a lot of fish in it. There's only 13 in here, and they tiny, which is kind of nice, but yeah. Let's get something with a bunch of fish in it. Put that up in the background. The only thing I wish is that the backgrounds had a little bit more contrast. I realize this looks more realistic from the three-dimensional perspective, right? And it probably would be nice if we're actually in the room with the aquarium. But as a stream background, I think contrast is better because you can actually see the fish. But I'm fine with this one for today. So we're going to put that in 2D mode. And yeah, that'll just be there. And then I can just leave it in the background. So yeah, it's a lovely... I mean, it's nice to have if you like the idea of having an aquarium on your video monitor that isn't just a pre-recorded aquarium, which in and of itself, those are fine too. I use those. I sometimes put like fireplace or aquarium videos on my actual TV through the YouTube app occasionally. But yeah, as a sort of idle stream game, it's really nice. And for what I'm doing when I'm like doing my co-working stuff, it's great because I have something in the background that's interesting to look at. And all of that. Lady Goggles, how are you? It's good to see you. You did a stream at some point in the last couple of weeks, I think. And I could only stay for like 5 minutes, so I didn't even say hi. I just kind of lurked. But Happy New Year to you as well. How are you doing? How is you're not out of your MFA program yet, are you? You're on break right now, or finishing break? I can't remember where you were in it. It's been so long since we've talked. I hope everything's going well. ADHD brain. But yes, Happy New Year to you. I hope things are going well. Let's double check the thing here. Why am I getting payment from... Oh, my grocery order went through. I got to pick those up. Yeah, I have to stop. It's usually not a problem for me to stop early because I tend to stream... If I'm getting to 3 hours, which I'm about to hit, that's usually a stretch for me. You did graduate back in May. Good for you. Got the old MFA, now looking for work like you do. Yeah, I too am still looking for work. Which is, well, it's its own special hell, let's be honest. Yeah, I'm glad that you're, gotta leave that up there. I'm glad that you are, that you got your MFA and graduated. Graduated. For some reason that word sounded foreign when it came out of my mouth, and I thought I was mispronouncing it when I didn't. That's a good quality in a streamer, really, is to not know what the fuck they're saying. Anyway, congratulations. I hope the looking for work goes well for you. I am finding it awful, quite frankly, but that wasn't a surprise. I knew what I was getting into. Contract teaching gig that ended in December. Nice, good. Now is this, I know when you're, looking for professor or adjunct kind of work, that's like you just go where the work is, and since there aren't as many universities as there are, say, retail outlets, that can involve moving cities. Are you still where you were? I don't want to say on stream. I hope I find something too. Thank you. It was one of those things where I left my last job due to like overall circumstances and not because I was laid off. It was like conscious choice. I had some money saved, and it was enough to, like, I'm not in any danger of losing the roof over my head or anything like that. It's more like the longer this goes on, the more the long-term savings are in jeopardy, which is obviously not a good thing either, but it's immediate versus long-term consequences. But yeah, I was in a position where I really wanted to move on, and I had started looking, but there were things that I didn't have the bandwidth to add another thing to my daily survival routine. I had, my brother passed away back in December of 2021, summer of 2022. I spent the first 6 months basically of 2022 dealing with his estate. I moved out to be closer to my parents in summer of 2022. And so, was it the summer of 2022? Yeah, I've been here over a year. So I've been here since. That whole time I was working. And then December of 2022, I really kind of got to the point where I had wanted to make a move for my job for a couple of years, but I wasn't like itching to run out the door because I liked the people I worked with. But I had some health stuff going on, and I also wanted to do this project management certificate that I did. So I decided to leave and focus on job hunting and getting the CAPM project management certificate, which I did. The job hunt is taking longer than I had hoped, but not necessarily longer than I expected, because that's a process. And especially right now where the job market is, various companies laying a ton of people off right before the holiday. That's great. And yes, I'm still looking. So I've got the social work degree, long-standing social work degree, and now the project management. I'm hoping to put those two together in a way that like I can support myself. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I did move. Move went well. Brother works in IT, and half of his team was laid off about 2 weeks ago before the holidays. Yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry for him. There was a lot of that in December, especially like or it seems to me, it's probably just the circles I run in, but IT, the games industry, you've got your hands in that, I know, because your work is in media. So yeah, those industries in particular were just ridiculously hit hard. Actually, there is someone in my sort of outer circle. We're not super close, but we're friends. Who works at Hasbro. They did not get laid off, but they knew a lot of people who did. So yeah, it's not a great time for that. But anyway, yeah, so here we are. And that was the beginning of my day. Basically, my routine at this point is get up in the morning, look through the job descriptions, bookmark things that I can send resumes to, which, again, there aren't as many as I would like, and then send some of those out, and then do things to keep myself from going completely batty in the meantime. So yeah, that's the deal. On the other end of the spectrum, it has been good in terms of I've been able to be a lot more available for my parents when they need me, which they don't too much, but I can help them out here and there. For the first half of the year last year, my dad was working on this. When he moved out here, both my parents moved out. My parents moved out here when they both retired, which is now going on 15 years ago. And, after settling in, he started volunteering with the local Cub Scouts, because me and my brother were in Scouts when we were young, and he got involved with that, fairly involved. So he had this project early last year at the local Scout camp where they were doing renovations on their first aid station. So I was able to just go out there on weekends with him, or sometimes during the week, and help him out to make sure he didn't overestimate his capabilities and hurt himself. Folks are doing well overall. They've got their share of health problems. Mom happens to be dealing with a lot right now. She's in a fair amount of pain most of the time, which I hate for her. And doing the shuffle with regard to different doctors and specialists about things she's got going on. That's really frustrating for her, and by extension for the rest of us. But overall, they are doing okay. Thank you for asking. I appreciate it. I hope everyone there is doing well. Squid is doing okay, I hope. I was going to say everyone there, and I'm like, the only family that I know of that you mentioned recently regularly was Squid. It is frustrating, yeah, but thank you. Let's delete that out. We've got an ad break coming in 1 minute, which is interesting because I'm probably going to be shutting down soon, but so yeah, while I was babbling, and also, I'll wait till the damn ads are done, because I was going to ask you a question. Well, I can ask you the question now before the ads come up. I think back in there I asked you if you were at the point where you needed to relocate, and I can't remember if you said yes or no, because I know, professor in adjunct jobs, you go where the work is. So I don't know if you're in that position or not, or if you even want to talk about it. Either way, it's fine. But I'm just curious. That's one of the hardest things I think about that is that if there's an opportunity 6 states away, it's just kind of assumed that you're going. Squid is doing well, sleeping at the moment. That's good. And more ads. So for anybody who can hear me, I'm not ignoring anyone. I'm just shutting up while the ads are off because I don't want people to feel like they are not included. Nope, open that. Come on, you can do it. Let's see here. Yep, another one. And we should be back from the ads. You're still here, but actively looking at liberal-friendly places to live that may be hiring. That's kind of what I thought, the situation I thought you'd be in. Progressive ads. You know what I like about the progressive ads? Over the past 8 months to a year or so, let's say 8 months, TikTok has made the shift that all content producing platforms, content hosting platforms do, is they provide the best possible user experience, and seems like a lot of opportunity to get a lot of information out there, good for creators, and then they rein it back in order to shovel more ads at you because it's the only way they make any money. And I watched as that happened with Facebook and YouTube and the other social media sites, and now it's happening on TikTok. TikTok is shoveling ads at what previously would have been considered an obscene rate. Now we're all just kind of getting used to it. The interesting thing about TikTok is because of the way the user interface works, I can recognize those ads in a tenth of a second and just scroll right past them. So I'm always happy when I see that fucking gecko because I'm just like, oh, keep going. You know, I don't even have to know. I don't even have to listen long enough to know whether or not this is an ad or an actual video. Because, yep, nope, it's an ad. Bye. No, I'm not talking to you, Geico. So where are we at? It's 3:23. I gotta go get my groceries in about an hour. I've been on for 3 hours. So I think I might actually call it here. Because even though I've been getting up quite a bit, actually, the media landscape is changing so rapidly, I'm not entirely sure if it's for the better. Yeah, I totally understand that. I don't know that it's ever for the better. It seems like it's only better when a new player comes into the mix, because in sort of cornering their part of the market, they are... I actually just did hydrate, but thank you. I will do that again. This is just water. I drink it out of a coffee mug because it's a little bit more presentable. And I also tend to drink more if there's a mug as opposed to if I just have this bottle sitting on my desk. Ironically, I drink less because it's more of a effort to lift the whole thing. And when you drink out of a bottle like that, it's not like you can... That's a commitment. It's not something you just take a sip from. But yeah, it seems like they all go through the same progression of the kind of tech startup business kind of thing that started way back with the, the first .com bubble, right? Which was create the good service and figure out how to make money off of it later, because then you'll have all your customers roped in. And that's progressed on through Facebook and YouTube and all the other ones. So yeah, I think like for a long time people saw, it seemed to me anyway, like people saw TikTok as the last vestige of being able to actually communicate, because it didn't have, things weren't so restricted as they are on things like Facebook, or, well, Facebook actively fucks with people's algorithms, right? YouTube less so, but YouTube moved more toward long-form video, which is interesting because now that's what people expect from YouTube. But at the time, nobody wanted it. right? That was very clearly, like I remember because I went to YouTube, I went to VidCon in 2017, and everybody came out of there. The new meta after that VidCon was your videos have to be longer. They have to, up until that point, if you did a video that was more than 4 or 5 minutes long, you were doing it wrong. And then after that, everybody started making 10 to 15 to 20 minute videos. And for creators who had built their channels on making that shorter form content, for a good year afterwards, these creators were trying to make longer form content, and honestly, in my opinion, failing, because they were basically taking 4 minutes or 5 minutes of content and like spreading it out over 20 minutes, and the videos got worse. They just absolutely got worse. And I still see vestiges of that in the content that I watch now on YouTube. When I bring up a tutorial or something for something I'm working on, or even an informational video that's 10 minutes, a good percentage of them are still really, if you just take the information that's in it, it's really a 5-minute video padded out with, there's this one thing that you believe that will change your entire way of looking at miniature painting, or, you know, social media marketing, or whatever the fuck it is. You're happy to embrace the long form on YouTube. I don't blame you. I think it works well for you, the videos of yours that I have watched. I'm sorry to say I haven't seen them all, because it just hasn't been, my radar has been focused differently, but I haven't, like, YouTube has become more the place I get dumped back to when I find something on social media somewhere else. Long form, I like the fact that people who do long form video well, it's good on YouTube, but everybody is trying to, even TikTok now is pushing people to do longer form. TikTok, which is like the meat and bones of TikTok for so long, was not only short videos, like 10 to 15 to 30 second reactions, right? And now even they would prefer people, like, in order to be in the TikTok, I forget what the hell they're calling it now. They're like on their 3rd iteration of their partner program. It's the creator beta program or something. In order for those people to get paid for their videos, they have to be at least a minute long. They can't be shorter than a minute. Which is funny because, like, the 1 to 3 minute, under 3 minutes definitely was always the kind of goal for getting your message out there and keeping people's attention. And then they took out the 3-minute bucket. So when you go into the app to record, now it's either like 15 seconds, 1 minute, or 10 minutes. And nobody wants to be sorted into the 10-minute bucket because those videos never get seen. The other interesting thing that I thought that they did about that is they're doing everything to surreptitiously prevent people from recycling their content from other platforms on TikTok, or the other way around. One example is that YouTube Shorts have to be under a minute, right? So by setting the requirement for the creator beta at over 1 minute, they're presenting an obstacle to creators who want to profit off who want to be profit. It is profit, but they're wanting to be paid appropriately for the work that they're doing on both platforms. It makes it much harder for them to do that, right? The other thing, what was the other thing that I was thinking? Oh, there's this new thing that I've been seeing a little bit now. I don't know how widespread it is, but people who are posting their own original content and then having it taken down and being sent messages saying that their content was not original, that it was copied from somewhere else, and that the reality is that TikTok was actually looking at other platforms for content as well and comparing. And the reason that they got the strike on the video and the video was taken down is because the same video, which is still their original content, TikTok probably found it on YouTube. And that seems like that's a trend that I'm seeing people talk about on TikTok that makes it seem like they're in the interest of preventing copyright infringement. If the content exists somewhere else, there's a chance that it'll be banned on TikTok. But that has the side benefit of it presents yet another obstacle to people who do post their original content that they own and created on multiple platforms. It's another disincentive for them to use that. So it's one of those things that's like, the fact that it may be banning people or maybe taking down videos that are original content, but just because they're posted somewhere else. It's one of those things. It's like, you know how they say things are, it's a feature and not a bug. This is a bug that's also a feature, in my opinion, because they'll do anything to prevent people from existing outside the pipeline of what they want, which is the For You page. Yeah, the For You page, the TikTok creator program is close to the worst from what I've seen and what I understand of basically any platform. It's got to be, they don't pay you for views. I haven't really dug into it because I don't have any. I'm not going to get to the point where I'm going to get paid for videos on TikTok. I don't produce that well in that way. It's just an outlet for me. For a little while there, I was kind of flirting with it to see if I could work the TikTok and Twitch things together. But it got really exhausting really fast. But yeah, the restrictions on the videos are that are eligible for the creator beta program, the creator support program, whatever the hell it's called, there's a lot of them. They have to be over a minute. You get paid. You do not get paid as a creator for videos that that are watched on the following page. If it's a person that follows you on the platform and they see your video because they're scrolling through, they're following people, they don't get paid for that play of the video. They only get paid for the plays of the video that show up on the For You page, because the For You page is where they can show all the most ads at people. It's really ridiculous. So God forbid you try to get noticed and or make money outside of YouTube, I guess. Yeah, or anywhere else, right? The bottom line is it's just the sort of late stage capitalism version of what we all knew to be true, which is that they're what do you call it? They're locking things. Every company wants to get you into their own ecosystem and keep you there, because then they've got potential customers. So they've all kind of gone back and forth in terms of not being able to link from one site to the next site because you're losing traffic and all this horse shit. It boils down to the fact that while being a content creator is put out there by some people as a viable way to make money, the reality is it's not. It really is just, I mean, you can make some money, but for the vast majority of people who are trying to do it, it's not a living. All of the magazine articles and all the people that you hear occasionally pop up on these listicles or wherever else, on Forbes or whatever, they're always looking at the top providers. You hear about the Mr. Beasts of the world. You don't hear about people who are small creators that are, you know, the pittance that they get that allows them to buy a new webcam, or maybe 1 week out of the month they can use it to pay for their groceries. And it's the reality is that the people that I see, again, admittedly, I wouldn't go so far as to say I have a well-rounded consumption of media from any of the platforms, but it's the people who are whose income comes from another place, and YouTube or Twitch or TikTok or whatever is just sort of the public relations avenue, right? They're selling a product or a service that is separate and apart from content creation, and content creation is a component of it, are the ones that do the best, because the platforms themselves, despite the fact that the work that we do on them has value, clearly, because they're profiting from it, those funds they just never appropriately filter down to the people who are making the videos. And it sucks, but that's the way it is. God forbid you try to get noticed outside or make money outside of YouTube. Did I read that already? I think I did. Anyway, now that I have had a rant and a half, I think that's going to do it for me. Thank you, Goggles, for showing up. It's so nice to see you. I hope that, like I said, I hope everything there continues to go well. I hope that your job search is short and you find something that you're happy with and also supports you. May we all. And yeah, that's going to do it for me. So thank you all very much. I do too, Goggles. I will definitely keep an eye out for whatever comes out from you next and see if I can make my way over to your YouTube channel again and check some of the stuff I missed. But thank you all. For those of you who are lurking, I appreciate the fact that you decided to spend some time with me while I noodled with Godot and then did some other stuff. I will be on tomorrow at noon. For the time being, I'm still doing the 5 days a week, starting at noon, and streaming basically for as long as I can. Co-working, just chilling out while I'm getting stuff done. And if you want a place to have something on in the background while you're getting stuff done, then maybe this is the place for you. Either way, I hope you all have a great day, great night, great whatever point in the 24-hour cycle you are, and I will see you tomorrow.